Do you ever feel like your mind just won't stop? Constant thoughts, endless overthinking, and that inner voice that keeps talking non-stop, even when you just want peace. You replay past conversations, worry about the future, and create scenarios that may never even happen. And the worst part, it drains your energy, your focus, and your confidence. But here's the truth, your mind is not the problem, it's just untrained. In this video, you'll learn simple and practical ways to stop overthinking and quiet that constant inner chatter. No complicated techniques, just real methods that actually work. Once you understand how to control your thoughts instead of being controlled by them, everything starts to change. So let's get started. The first and most important step to stop overthinking is becoming aware of your thoughts. Most people don't even realize when they've fallen into a loop of constant thinking. One moment you're fine, and the next moment your mind is running endlessly, replaying the past or worrying about the future. Awareness means noticing this pattern as it starts. Instead of getting lost in your thoughts, you step back and observe them. You simply recognize, I am overthinking right now. This small shift creates distance between you and your thoughts. When you're unaware, your thoughts control you. But when you become aware, you start controlling them. You understand that not every thought is important or true. Many are just automatic reactions of the mind. A simple way to practice awareness is to pause during the day and check your mind. Ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? If you notice negative or repetitive thoughts, don't fight them or judge yourself. Just observe them calmly, like watching clouds pass in the sky. Another helpful method is writing your thoughts down. When you put them on paper, they become clearer and less overwhelming. You start seeing patterns and realizing how unnecessary many of them are. The goal is not to stop thinking completely, that's impossible. The goal is to stop being controlled by every thought that appears. With practice, awareness becomes natural. You catch overthinking earlier and don't let it grow. Awareness is like a light in a dark room. Once it's on, everything becomes clear and your mind finally starts to calm down. One of the main reasons overthinking happens is because your mind is constantly jumping between the past and the future. You replay old situations, analyze conversations, or worry about things that haven't even happened yet. This keeps your mind busy, restless, and exhausted. The solution is simple, but powerful. Bring your focus back to the present moment. When you focus on what is happening right now, overthinking naturally slows down. Your mind doesn't have space to create unnecessary thoughts because your attention is grounded in reality. A simple way to do this is through your breath. Take a slow, deep breath and pay attention to it, how it feels as you inhale and exhale. Even doing this for a few seconds can calm your mind instantly. You can also focus on your surroundings. Notice what you can see, hear, or feel around you. For example, if you're walking, pay attention to your steps. If you're eating, focus on the taste and texture of your food. These small actions bring your mind back to the present. Another important part is doing one thing at a time. When you multitask, your mind becomes scattered, which increases overthinking. But when you give full attention to a single task, your mind becomes more focused and calm. At first, your mind will try to drift back into overthinking, and that's normal. The key is to gently bring it back again and again without frustration. With practice, staying present becomes easier, and when you live more in the present, you stop getting trapped in unnecessary thoughts. Peace is not found in the past or future, it's found in the present moment. One of the biggest causes of overthinking is what if thinking. Your mind keeps creating imaginary situations about the future. What if I fail? What if something goes wrong? What if they think badly of me? These thoughts feel real, but in most cases, they are just possibilities, not facts. The problem is that your brain treats these imagined scenarios like real problems. This creates stress, anxiety, and mental overload, even though nothing has actually happened. You end up wasting energy on situations that may never exist. To stop this, you need to recognize when your mind is going into what-if mode. The moment you notice it, pause and ask yourself, is this real right now, or just a possibility? This question helps you separate reality from imagination. Another helpful approach is to challenge your thoughts. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And if it does happen, can I handle it? Most of the time, you'll realize that the situation is either unlikely or manageable. You can also replace negative, what if, thoughts with more balanced ones. Instead of, what if everything goes wrong? Try, what if things actually work out? This shifts your mindset from fear to possibility. It's important to understand that you can't predict or control the future completely. Trying to do so only increases overthinking. Instead, focus on what you can control, your actions in the present. With practice, you'll start catching these thoughts early and not letting them grow. Most of the things you worry about never happen. And the more you limit, what if, thinking, the more peaceful and clear your mind becomes. One of the hidden reasons behind overthinking is the kind of content you consume daily. Your mind is like a sponge, it absorbs everything you watch, read, and listen to. If you constantly feed it with negative, stressful, or overwhelming content, your thoughts will naturally become the same. Social media, news, and endless scrolling can overload your brain with information. You see other people's lives, compare yourself, read negative comments, and consume unrealistic expectations. All of this quietly builds pressure in your mind, which later turns into overthinking and inner chatter. To reduce overthinking, you need to control your input. Be mindful of what you allow into your mind. Limit time on social media, especially content that makes you feel anxious, insecure, or distracted. Unfollow or avoid things that trigger unnecessary thoughts. Instead, choose content that adds value and calmness to your mind. Listen to something positive, read something meaningful, or spend time in silence. Even taking short breaks from your phone can make a big difference. Another important step is giving your mind space to rest. Constant input leaves no room for mental clarity. When you reduce noise, your thoughts naturally slow down. Also, pay attention to your environment. The people you spend time with and the conversations you engage in also affect your thinking. Surround yourself with positive and supportive energy. You can't have a peaceful mind if you keep feeding it chaos. When you control what you consume, you take control of your thoughts, and that's when overthinking starts to fade. One of the main reasons overthinking keeps growing is because of inaction. The more you think without doing anything, the more your mind creates confusion, doubt, and unnecessary scenarios. Thinking alone doesn't solve problems, action does. When you stay stuck in your head, small problems start to feel bigger than they actually are. You analyze every possibility, every outcome, and every risk, which only increases stress. But the moment you take even a small step forward, your mind starts to calm down. Action breaks the cycle of overthinking. It shifts your focus from "what if" to "let me try." You don't need to have everything figured out before you begin. Just start with one simple step. Progress, even if it's small, gives your mind clarity and direction. For example, if you're overthinking about a task, instead of planning it endlessly, just begin working on it for a few minutes. Once you start, you'll notice that the fear and confusion begin to fade. Taking action also builds confidence. Every step you take proves to your mind that you are capable. This reduces doubt and makes future decisions easier. It's important to understand that you don't need perfect conditions to act. Waiting for the right moment often leads to more overthinking. The right moment is when you decide to start. Clarity comes from action, not overthinking. When you move forward, your mind follows. And that's how you break free from the cycle of constant inner chatter.